Hi folks, welcome to Greg's Workshop. I'm Greg, and today we're going to be continuing our series on tool holder builds. We're going to start off today by building one tool holder for two tools. We're going to be building a holder for my Milwaukee insulation driver and my Milwaukee M12 oscillating tool. I'm not usually a fan of cases. I usually throw them away. For these two, I think the cases make sense to keep, and so we're going to be building a shelf to hold the cases with the tools inside. Why do I like these cases? Well, these two tools are something that I will likely use inside the house for little projects, a little trim project, installing a hinge, something like that. I'd like to have a case where everything is all together. Fortunately, these cases are big enough that I was able to add accessory boxes. So all of the driving accessories I need are right here. And in here, I have a box with all the blades I need. Fits really well. So we're going to keep that all together and build a shelf for them. So take some quick measurements here. Measure the widest one. That depth is going to be, call it 9 3/4 inches. Height, 17 will work. And then thickness. So this one with the saw bulges just a little bit. So we'll make that shelf about 4 1/4. And this one is pretty much the same width. So we'll make this one 3 1/2. I have my back and my bottom cut out. Going to go together about like that. We'll get them tacked together and then measure out for the other pieces. So I don't think that I want these other pieces to be full size. I don't think I want them to go all the way out here or all the way up there. I just want to have more room to grab the bags. So I'll take this piece, I'll give it a cut at a 45. Give this one a cut at 45 too, just because it's a nice piece of scrap for the divider. I'll put in the two sides in the middle. I've got my pieces cut. We'll do a little mock-up here. About there. Right about there. Throw our tools in. Now I could go without a center divider, but I kind of want one. I think that it's going to make it easier to store these tools. That way I can pull them out individually instead of accidentally all at once. All right, see if there's enough room for the divider in here. Yep, that'll work. I think it's just tight enough. To do this assembly, I'm going to use the flatness of the table as to my benefit. So put a side piece down here. Put that in like that. Spread some glue first, obviously. And then we can nail along here. So I know that because this is sitting flat here and the other piece is sitting flat, it should be even. Got the side pieces in. I'm putting it in this divider. I've made a series of marks here. I only made one mark. The start of the mark is the actual line, so to speak. I made the mark this way to denote that that is where the divider goes. It's going to be a little tricky to get this lined up and tacked in properly. I'll try to take a video of it, but it probably won't turn out exactly right. I'll give it a shot. So I'm going to fasten the top fastening here right next to the mark. That way I can hinge the bottom. So I know that mark will be on. And when I hinge the bottom, get it lined up on the bottom, I can do another one down here, flip it over, hinge the bottom off of these ones, and get it all straight. So you can see just maybe the barely edge of that mark down there. There's a mark right here. Just need to move that over slightly. And tack the bottom. Got it assembled. See how everything fits. Try the oscillating tool first. Then the assembly tool. think it looks pretty good. So now that I have these in there, I can see that the bottom, I left a little bit too much room. So I'm just going to run this over to the table saw, rip that off real quick, nice and flush here, and we get it hung up on the wall. I made kind of a mistake, I think, on this one. Maybe not, time will tell, but I glued and nailed the French cleat onto the back. I'm not really sure how all these tools that I'm going to build here in the next week or two are going to line up. So I probably shouldn't glue this one. So I'm going to just screw it on after I get a good height measurement. I think I want it, actually I think that'll work just about right. Putting it right flush with the top. We'll give that a shot. I lied. I don't have any screws short enough for this, so glue and brad it is. This next one's going to be a bit trickier. Barrel handle jigsaw. If I put it this way, it's going to be sticking out quite a bit. If I put it this way, it won't stick out as much, but it'll be taller. And then do I want to leave the blade in? Do I want to leave room for the blade? I also want to have accessory storage. This is the padded foot that goes on here. This is the vacuum adapter. I think I'm going to do vertical, like so, with the blade off. I also want to put in some blade storage. See what I can come up with. Maybe like that. I think that'll work pretty well. So got the back cut. 4 1/4 inches seems to be about the right width. So this is about 3 1/8. I'll add an 1/8 for space, 1/2 inch for each side, so 4 1/4. As far as how tall to make it, I could cut it short down here. The problem is that kind of limits my height mounting options. You know, I couldn't put a French cleat up here. I'd have to put it down here or lower. So I'm going to go full height. Right about there. So I've got the backer board cut. We need to figure out the depth here for all these accessories. Going to use 1/2 inch MDO for the dividers too, so we want a 1/2 inch between each little section here. Looks about right. So to hook around the back of there, hook around the back of that, come full length. Oh, looks like about 10 1/4. We'll go 10 1/2. We can trim it off later. Got the bottom cut. We'll see how tall we need to make the dividers. Looks like 7 inches is about the longest we could go. If I go down to 6, that'll give me some room to get my finger in here to grab that out. Got my dividers cut out, so it's going to look something like that, plus a divider, plus that, plus another divider, plus the saw. Bottom will go on there. Yeah, looks like I cut it a little long. That's okay. I'll trim that up when we're all done. So I need to cut out the corner, or the side pieces rather, the 2 angled pieces, basically the same as we did on the other holder. That way these will come up a little bit. I'll put in an extra divider here, just so that this doesn't, get cockeyed and slide around. It's time to assemble. I've got this side piece marked out for the dividers. This is the back divider. This is where the vacuum tube will sit. I'll put that right about there. Put on the back, put on the bottom, put on the next divider, then we'll put on the other side piece. Got it mostly assembled. Test fit everything here. That fits, and that fits. The only thing I don't really like is that this rocks, so let's figure out a little support for right here. So to make this little support piece,
I've cut a piece of wood. It's just the proper width. Gonna make a mark here to get the proper, I don't know what you call it, proper shape. I'm gonna use this to transfer that shape. So use that, come out, I think right here is a pretty good spot. Spreading a little bit. It's kind of inconvenient, but we'll make it work. So next we take this shape, transfer it to our board. So I've got my shape marked, and might as well use the jigsaw to cut it out. Took a little bit of trimming, a little bit of fitting, but it's not a perfect fit, but I think it'll work. Well, we're all done. Here's the completed unit. Everything fits. I've got the vacuum adapter. I've got the little finish plate there. That fits in just right. Holds really well. I had mentioned at the beginning that I want to do blade storage, so I think what I'm going to do is figure out, buy a tube or a little something that goes in here that I can just slide in, put all the blades in it, pull it out, shake out the blades. I'll have to do that after I finish the video because it's time to hang it up. Well, what do you think? I think it turned out pretty well. I think we got the starts of a good tool wall here. Next video will be the router and the sander. I'm going to have to figure out exactly how to do that. I'm kind of running out of space here. I might need to rearrange a few things, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's been a couple days. I'm going to revisit this project real quick, show you guys a couple extra features. One, I got my tube for my blade storage. Just a little plastic tube with a stopper off Amazon. Number two, I discovered that I could drill this hole right here and actually put in the jigsaw with the blade in place. So that just goes basically right along here, kind of halfway through that wall and halfway out here, but that is offset, so there's plenty of room there. And then the base has a cutout at the bottom, so even if it's a long blade, I drilled it all the way through to the back, should fit. Folks, if you enjoyed that video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell to get notified on new videos every Saturday morning, leave a comment or question down below, and I'll see you next week on Greg's Workshop.